We have this last module 8 homework due tonight as well. And so really all we're doing today is going over one of the questions from part 6. If you want to go over some more of them, that's totally fine. Just let me know. Okay, so in part 6, we were playing with these questions, which had to do with this calculator we made way back in part 2 for Sarah and Matt, where we plugged in 500 backers and it spit out like $25,000 or whatever. And what we were doing is considering 2 other cases where maybe we get more or less backers and seeing how those cases affected our expected amount of money that we would collect. So what we need to do is essentially set up another expected value calculator, kind of like we did for part 5, where we have descriptions of all of our cases. We have probabilities for all of our cases that they give us, and we also know how many backers from each of the cases. What's left for us to compute are these guys. So essentially what we're doing is just plugging these numbers into this calculator we made way back in part 2 and seeing what this number changes to for the bicycle belt project. And so there are a couple different ways you can copy and paste these numbers. You might have noticed I have a weird blank row up here. It's because I'm using a data table to get all of these numbers, so I can just plug these in and it spits them out in this column, so I don't have to actually copy and paste, and I don't have to worry about weird rounding errors. So that's a data table. But because we're not really concerned with the expected value of the pledged amount, I have one more column for the collected amount, which looks at my goal level and compares these pledged amounts to the goal level to see if these 3 cases were successful or not. And as we can see, the pessimistic scenario where we only had 200 backers only ended up raising about $10,300, so they were unsuccessful in meeting the goal. And so I have a nice little if statement over here, which automatically changes that to a 0 for me. And then for my expected value is essentially always the same. You got a bunch of probabilities that are paired up with numbers that you're averaging essentially, and that's the number we get in that case.